What's going on, guys? This is Nick at Stridewise.com, and today I am taking a look at the most popular leather conditioner on Amazon, Leather Honey. So Leather Honey is the #1 selling leather conditioner and boot conditioner on Amazon.com if you search for either of those terms. It's right at the top of the list. It's got the most reviews, which might be a bit surprising to some of my fellow Goodyear Welt fans because in the world of boots, probably the conditioners you hear talked about the most would be Venetian Shoe Cream or Saphir Renovator, both of which I've reviewed on my channel. But Leather Honey is the big cheese. It was invented over 50 years ago. It's a family-owned outfit based in Kearneysville, West Virginia. And I do need to emphasize that it is for use on boots, which again might be surprising for some folks because it's also pretty popular on like couches and jackets and pretty much any type of leather out there. But it is strongly recommended for good boots, and it does have a pretty good following among people who do use it on boots and other nice bits of leather. So let's take a closer look at the ingredients. So that was actually a fake out because we don't know what the ingredients are in this product. They say on their website, the Leather Honey is an age-old family invention and we prefer not to reveal the contents for obvious reasons. So that's actually not that unusual among leather conditioners like Venetian Shoe Cream, Saphir Renovator. It's the same. They're never going to tell you the precise ingredients in there. It's like an industry secret. It's a bit frustrating for a lot of folks. I did get a hold of Leather Honey's safety data sheet. All I really learned is that there are no hazardous chemicals, no solvents, and no silicone. The no solvents and no silicone thing is actually going to be good news for a lot of folks out there who prefer to keep all natural products on their boots. The words all natural are kind of hard to really define, and it's pretty hard to properly categorize this as natural when you don't know exactly what's in it, but no solvents, no silicone. It's not for use on suede or vinyl or simulated leather like vegan leather, but what I've got here is a pair of Indonesian boots, and this is chrome tanned pull-up leather from Santalum. So let's try it out. All right, so first things first, you remove the laces. Now, these are the Santalum Mocto, the Mile 85 boots. I've been wearing these for a few months, so there's a decent amount of like scuffing on the leather. Nothing too serious, but the sort of thing that Leather Honey should be able to take care of. Now, some people say there's a chance this might cause skin irritation. On Leather Honey's site, they swear it won't, but I don't know. I'm gonna use a cloth here. So the texture of Leather Honey is pretty weird. It's not like an oil and it's not a cream. It really is like actually very honey-like. The idea here is to use thin, even coats to avoid oversaturating the leather, because one thing everyone agrees on with Leather Honey is that it penetrates very deeply and it stays there. So like, while they tell you that using too much won't be harmful, you do want to apply in thin, even coats to avoid oversaturating the leather. So let's get started. So as you can see, the Leather Honey has darkened the leather in a few places. It certainly doesn't have a sort of uniform appearance like that you would normally see when you're applying, again, something like Venetian Shoe Cream. It's darkened it, but not uniformly. But what you're supposed to do is apply it and then come back in a couple of hours to wipe off any excess. So let's see how this looks in a couple of hours. All right, so here we are a few hours later. I will note that the color is more consistent than when we left it. It was a lot more streaky. That said, the color isn't super consistent all over the boots. I think because of the consistency of the Leather Honey, it is a little bit hard to distribute very evenly because it's a bit more of a sticky kind of viscous fluid. So that's worth pointing out. They do look more like well-loved old boots, like they look like they've been taken care of, but they kind of look more like they've been taken care of over a long period of time, and these are actually relatively new boots. So it sort of depends on what you're looking for. Again, this is used on a lot of like furniture and upholstery and that sort of thing. So I think it makes them look cooler. I don't think it does a great job at making them look new. So it kind of depends on the look you're trying to get from your boots. I would also point out that it has not done as good a job of covering up scratches as something like Venetian Shoe Cream or Saphir Renovator would. And I know that because I actually put a little bit of Saphir Renovator on the heel back here to see how that would affect these scratches. And the scratches have disappeared more so where I put the Saphir than where I put the Leather Honey. So it is not It's not a very boot specific conditioner, I will say that. I think they look good, but they don't look new. So that's just worth remembering. Now, as far as the price goes, this is about $18 for 8 ounces. So it comes to like $2.25 per ounce. So that's pretty cheap. It's not as cheap as like Lexol or Bic, which I think obviously have a better reputation for taking care of boots, especially Bic, but it is still cheaper than Venetian shoe cream, which is kind of the go-to for most guys on their boots. That costs like $3 an ounce. So it's not like crazy cheaper than Venetian shoe cream, but you could consider this a cost-effective alternative. All right, so what have we learned? I'm gonna run through some quick pros and cons of leather honey so you can make up your own mind. Upside, pretty inexpensive as far as these things go. Again, not quite as cheap as Bic, but it is cheaper than Venetian shoe cream. It also penetrates pretty deeply into the pores of the boot. So that also means that it's like pretty long lasting. Unlike some other ones out there like Neat's foot oil, they're really good at preserving the color, but they're not quite as good at seeping very deeply into the pores, so you need to apply it more often. Leather honey, it is known for having a longer lasting effect if you don't want to think about this kind of stuff that much. The downsides, it did darken the leather a bit. Not as dramatically as I was concerned it would. Given some of the stuff I've read online, I was worried it was going to have the effect of like Obernauf's or maybe even mink oil. It didn't darken them that much. It also, as I mentioned, it's not as amazing at removing scratches, I think, as some other conditioners that I've tried. And also, it isn't as good at making the shoes look new. And now again, leather's never really gonna look brand new after you've been wearing it for a while, but still, it didn't have quite as restorative an effect as I would have expected from more expensive leather conditioners. But this is not that expensive, so you know, that may be fine for you. If the price is worth it, it's no big deal, especially for boots like these, which to be honest, they do look better when they're beat up. But it may not be the ideal thing for a pair of dress shoes, and there's one other reason why, and that is because, and I've spoken to some leather care experts on this, this particular product is not as good at forming a base for putting polishes over. So a lot of stuff out there, again, Venetian shoe cream, Saphir, they're good for conditioning the boots on their own, but they're also good for providing a base to put polishes over them. Not so much the case for leather honey. So that's not gonna be a big deal again for boots like this, but it might give you pause if you're considering it for fancier footwear. All right, those are my thoughts on leather honey. There are very few videos out there showing how it works on boots, so I hope this has been useful. It is a #1 conditioner on Amazon. Let me know what your favorite conditioner is below, or if you've had different results with leather honey. And make sure you subscribe as well, because I've got a ton more boot reviews and boot care tips and other kinds of reviews coming up.